Alright, YouTube, Loudmouth Bassin here. It's cold in Arizona. Now, it ain't cold in Arizona like it's cold everywhere else in the country. It's just a little cold in Arizona. By that I mean water temperatures are around the 45s and 50s. Fishing's been gruelingly tough for this part of the country. You can get on some fish sometimes, and there's days where you go out and you just don't get on them. Hence why I don't have a video right now of me fishing. But I thought I'd give it a little change up. What I decided to do is show you my top 5 wintertime lures. Now again, my wintertime lures may be a little bit different than what you see across the country. They may be very similar to what you see across the country. But I know these 5 lures work really well here in Arizona. And I'll start out with my first one. This time of year, actually starting sometime around September to October, all the way through February, one of the best baits I like to throw is a big old glide bait. So this time of year, one of my first lures I like to tie on and throw around is a big old glide bait. This one here is by Mythic Lures. It's a local company that does real well stuff. They get real good custom painted. This particular one happens to be a striped bass color. I've got another one up here that I like is a rainbow trout color. And grab that off the pegboard. Now this one here is pretty clean too. I do have these unopened, but I just happen to have the packages here with me, so I might as well show them to you. So again, Mythic Lures, nice rainbow trout, or nice striped bass glide bait. Now, with these baits, I'm really just looking for that one big bite, so I'm real specific on where I'm throwing these baits. Usually out on the boat, usually in the lakes that carry the big ones. So you won't see me throwing these at Bartlett Lake. I don't know why. Oh wait, that's because Bartlett doesn't have much bigger than a 4-pounder. There are going to be people out there that say that it does, and it may, but you don't hear of it very often. Now, Canyon, Saguaro, even some of my local urban ponds that I know have some big fish in, I'll be throwing these glide baits. I have been throwing these glide baits. Now, if that's not producing bites, what I next do is I try to find some sort of schooling fish. Usually if I'm looking for a schooling fish, especially in Arizona lately, I've been using a lot of lipless crankbaits. Now I brought 2 with me today, 2 of my favorite ones. These are actually Rapala Rippin' Raps, and I've got 2 different sizes here. Really all depending on what I'm looking for, what water I'm in. This one's probably going to produce a little more at Bartlett, trying to match the hatch using smaller shad. If I happen to know the lake has bigger shad, then I'll pull out this 07 right here. And this 07 is a 7/8 ounce lipless rattlewing. This one here is the 05, and the 05 happens to be a 5/16, so less than a half. Almost a 1/4 ounce. A little bit smaller, sometimes will produce more baits. Does it matter on which size for the bigger fish? Not necessarily. I've seen bigger fish hit both baits. Matter of fact, I caught a 6.2 on the bait that's in between these 2, which is a 1/2 ounce lipless. I have it tied on my pole, which is why I don't have it showed in front of you. Again, a 6.2 pounder on a 1/2 ounce lipless just a week ago. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of that as it was in a private lake and I wasn't supposed to be there. Which, I'm going to take a minute to get on this little rant right quick. There are private lakes. From time to time I will fish them. I try my best not to fish private property. I try my best to get permission to fish private property before I go out there. However, there are times when I'm just too tempted to go after that big old toad and I might step on private property. I apologize. I'm not asking you to follow me on it. I'm not asking you guys to do what I do. I do it at my own risk with the knowing that I might receive a trespassing citation. However, most of the lakes you see me, especially if it says private, I have written or verbal permission or I'm with someone that owns the property and fishes on it as well. That being said, let's get back to the video. So, we've covered a glide bait. We've covered some lipless crankbaits. Now with the glide bait, I'm going to work it nice and slow, giving it almost like a walk the dog effect, but again, nice and slow. Those 2 I happen to have are real slow sinkers. Okay? They sink at about, 1/2 foot a second or so. So I got time to let it throw out there, let it sink as it slowly works its way back. And again, it's just going to zig and zag back and forth. Now the lipless, I work in 3 different ways. First thing I'll do is throw it out there, let it sink down to the bottom, give it a nice, slow, steady retrieve, kind of feeling the bottom, nosing it out, especially if I'm in an area I know it doesn't have many snags. If there's a few snags, I'll give it a little bit faster retrieve, trying to get it just above the bottom. I'm really looking for that reaction bite. The second method I'll do, if I don't get many bites after a few fan casts with that just slow retrieve, is a jigging retrieve. I'll throw that lipless out there, let it sink down to the bottom, and then I'll either smack the bottom of my pole or give a real violent jerk straight up to get that lipless to just jerk right off the bottom and twitch all the way up to the surface almost. That looks like a dying shad going up and down in the water column. Usually that will produce a bite. If I can't seem to manage to get a bite in that way, my last method is just a sweep and retrieve. I'll give it a strong sweep right or left and then crank up the slack. Strong sweep right or left and then crank up the slack. Sometimes a double twitch, double sweep, and then crank it up. Either way, I'll vary my retrieves to find out which one the fish are really looking for. Once I start getting bites, I'll tend to stick with that retrieve and keep throwing it around. Now, the third bait I use is one last search bait. If I can't get them on those first 2 bites, or if I do get them and I get a few but the bite starts to slow down, then I realize I've got a school, but I've caught the few that are going to bite that bait, so I've got to change it up. That's when I reach in the bag and I pull out the old jerk bait. This one here is actually a Monster Bass Slim Jim 110. This is in the 110 body style. It's a little longer and it does just fine. This one happens to have something very important. Those rattles will get their attention. Now this time of year with these jerk baits, I really slow down my retrieve. Instead of that jerk wind, I slow it down. Give it a twitch or 2, then pause, 5, 6 seconds sometimes. Then give it another few twitches. The slower the better when the water gets colder or there's a cold front coming. Or if it's later in the afternoon, just slow it down. You'll get more bites with a slower retrieve, I promise. Okay. The other thing I do is sometimes I'll give it a real frantic retrieve and then just stop the bait completely for up to 10 seconds. It's a very easy bait to keep still. The bait suspends, it stays right in the water column where you want it to be. And the dude says hi. Stays right in the water column right where you want it to be. And it just does its job. The fish can't resist it between the rattles, and it's just sitting there looking like a dying bait fish. So, we've covered a glide bait, right? Mythic Lures, again, we've covered it. We've covered the lipless crankbait, the Rapala Rip and Wrap. This one happens to be Pearl Shiner. The 07, which is a 7/8, is a big bad lure. We've even talked about the Monster Bass Slim Jim, a little bit of a jerk bait right here. Okay, that little jerk bait with the 110 body style. Now, if I can't get them on those 3 things, then I really need to change my approach. It's wintertime. Slow down your fishing. One of the most important things I'll slow down to is something I like to call a biffle bug. Okay, now this is just a little jig head, kind of almost like a shaky head. It's got a little football head on here, you can see, right? And it's got a little worm separate of it, a little worm hook. I put on a Missile Baits D-Bomb on this one. The color happens to be California Love. I really enjoy that color. It's almost like a watermelon red flake. Now, what happens to this, the advantage is the line goes into this little eye here, which then sits on the football head jig. That allows the bait to sit there freely motion in the water. Allows me to not even have to move the bait. The subtlest of movements will actually cause the best hits in this case. Just let that bait sit there and wiggle in that bass's face. He can't resist it after a few minutes. Okay? If I can't get him on that, then I've got one last ditch effort. And my one last ditch effort is something a little bit different that most of y'all may know, may not. Okay? Something I like to call the J-rig. Now, it's not J for Jason. It's called a J-rig. I'm not sure who invented it. I'm not sure when they invented it. I'm not sure why they called it a J-rig. What I do know is it works very well in this time of year at a lot of lakes out here when you're finesse fishing. You literally throw the bait out there, let it sink to the bottom, and barely shake your rod tip. Drag it across the bottom, barely shake your rod tip. So the way you rig a J-rig is like this. You have a 1 or 2 aught worm hook, okay? Simple, steady worm hook with a little bend in it. I have a trick worm on it. I've also attached to the eye of the worm, or to the eye of the hook, a split ring, okay? I tie my knot onto the split ring, but before I tie my knot, I add a drop shot weight to my line that's free spooling, sliding up and down. This happens to be a 1/4 ounce or a 3/16 ounce drop shot weight. Notice it's not cinched, it's not crimped anywhere, it slides all on its own. Okay? Again, it lets the bait sit on the bottom. Even when I pull it tight, the ring will sit here, which will allow the hook to dance and jiggle, allow that worm to really jiggle in the water as it's just sitting on the bottom. Less movement, longer time in the strike zone, more results. Ladies and gentlemen, the J-rig catches fish in the winter. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. When you do give it a shot, comment on this video and let me know what you're catching with it. Let me know if it works for you. I happen to have a red trick worm on here simply because I got a tournament coming up at Bartlett Lake. You'll get some footage from that here hopefully by the end of the month. Let me talk with my boater and make sure he's okay with it first. It's not my boat. And we'll get some footage from Bartlett Lake tournament, okay? getting our lures attacked by the attack cat, the dude. That would be my cat here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce you to the dude. Dude, say hi. Say hi. No? You don't want to talk no more? That's the dude, ladies and gentlemen, the mascot of Loudmouth Bassin. All in all, Loudmouth Bassin here. First time I've done something like this, wintertime fishing. I got the pegboard up behind me. Everyone else got a pegboard. We got to be like them, but a little bit different. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know. Talk to me, guys. I'm willing and ready to listen. I got new ideas. I need some more ideas. I'm all about getting this fishing game going. Let me know what's going on. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends. Do all the good things you need to do. Loudmouth Bassin, we out. One more thing, YouTube. The wonderful, wonderful people over at Mythic Lures have decided to help me out. They've agreed to give me a few baits to give to you guys at home. That's right, giveaway time. So here's the deal. When my YouTube channel, Loudmouth Bassin, reaches 100 followers, 100 subscribers, I will be giving away one of those baits from Mythic Lures. We got the white glide, the disco shad, striped bass, carp, or even a possible square bill. So, in order to get involved in it, here's what you got to do. You got to subscribe to my channel. You've got to follow me on Instagram at Loudmouth Bassin. You've got to follow Mythic Lures at Mythic Lures on Instagram. Okay? Do those three things and then comment on one of my videos. On this particular video, comment on this video which one of those Mythic Lures you want. When I reach 100 followers, I'll randomly draw one of my subscribers and we'll give it away as long as they follow the 4 things to do. So again, the 4 things to do. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Loudmouth Bassin. Follow me on Instagram at Loudmouth Bassin. Follow Mythic Lures at Mythic Lures on Instagram. And comment on this video which lure you want. Once I reach 100 subscribers, we'll do a random drawing and one of you guys will win that lucky lure. Alright.